In today's episode of the Hexagon Challenge, we wrap up the second phase semi-final group stage. It could be one game, it could be 3 games, and we'll play until we qualify or fail to. First up, it's Orzo Marzo, and if required after that, Atletico Huila and then Deportivo Pereira. Hello everyone, welcome back to Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well. If you are new to the channel, then please do hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with the Hexagon Challenge, and also turn the notification bell on so you are kept up to date anytime a video does drop. So in yesterday's episode, which if you have not checked out, then please do, we managed to bottle the second leg of a Colombian Cup Semi Final. We were 2-0 up after the first leg, but then went away from home, lost our first game of the season off the back of a few rough results in the prior 2 league games as well, some 0-0 draws, and we couldn't score yet again. We ended up losing 3-0 and 3-2 on aggregate to Deportes Tolima, who, if we go look at the Copper Bet play, when we go to the final, they won 2-2 on penalties. It was 2-legged, and away goals didn't mean anything because they were the only team that actually picked up an away goal, so they probably deserved to win anyway. But that's a bit frustrating. Yeah, at least we lost to the eventual winners, but that was a real chance for us to get continental football next season. We're going to have to wait at least 2 seasons for that. But since then, we have played quite a few games. We had 4 regular season league games, which did not mean anything. I won't bother showing you guys the highlights, but we were able to get back into winning form straight away, which was really good. Some scrappy results. The 2-0s and 3-1s weren't overly convincing, but we managed to get the job done, and then to end this regular season, a really good 5-1 win, albeit all those teams are not in the playoff picture, except for Real Santander, who are doing pretty well in the other group, so that might be one to keep an eye on. But yeah, teams who we're probably not going to have to worry about for the most part. And off the back of that, we went into the semi-final second phase group stage. If we top this, we will go through to the second phase final and look to make it 2 out of 3 trophies for the season. And if we win that, we avoid a promotion playoff, which would be ideal. If things go to plan, hopefully there's only going to be 5 more games for the rest of the season. But we'll see how we get on, and we have started off really well. So we'll bring you the highlights of these games. First off, we had Atletico Huila, the team who finished 3rd in the table, which we topped, and we got a 2-1 win. Not overly convincing at all, but we got the job done. Stat-wise, we absolutely deserve to win this, but one thing that we have been struggling with is our strikers contributing goals. Both Venegas and Basozi got the odd goal in games leading into this one, but the strikers who I have had start haven't done a lot, which is a little bit concerning, but we did just manage to get the job done here. We started off nicely here, our first goal coming at the 12-minute mark. Labastidas putting a nice ball over for Marulanda, and he fired that into the bottom right corner, a hand from their keeper Velasquez, but it wasn't enough to keep it out. Then in the 75th minute, they struck back at Atletico Huila. It was a good little cross. We didn't mark our man in Caicedo, and he fired that into the top right. But then in the 88th minute, it was a long throw. It bobbled around, and it was actually an own goal off of their goalkeeper, which made it 2-1. On the balance of stats, you'd say we deserved the XG suggested as well, but we just needed to be a bit more clinical. I'll take that result, especially away from home. In these end-of-season games, getting points on the road can be oh so crucial. And then we did exactly the same against Orzo Marzo, the team that we played in the first phase final for the season. A good 4-0 win here. A much more comfortable watch. And as you can see, we were a lot better in terms of shots and shots on target with that ratio. We started off with a penalty in the 6th minute, which Labastidas just got past the keeper. I mean just. Then in the 60th minute, a long throw, which was punched out, but only as far as Lasso, and he did a nice little lob shot over the keeper and made it 2-0. Not long after that, a free kick to Marulanda, which Edmonds Green crashed in off the top crossbar. 3-0, and we were cruising at this stage, and then in the last 10 minutes, it was Marulanda making a good run down the left-hand side, puts a cross in for Basozi off the bench, and he made it 4-0. Since then, we have had Lucas Basozi starting games. Now, what isn't shown in those highlights was a missed penalty in the 34th minute by Orzo Mazo, a really good save from Sandoval. This was quite a key moment because it was 1-0 at this stage. Pereira went to fire this top left, but a nice save from Sandoval. The ball ricocheting off his wrist, it looked like, in the opposite direction, and we cleared it, and we're able to keep a clean sheet. Sandoval getting man of the match in that game after that penalty save. And in the most recent game, we were at home to Deportivo Pereira, and we got a 2-1 win. A game that felt pretty comfortable for the most part. They did get a late goal, Deportivo Pereira, but we were able to cling on. It's time to show you guys the goals. Stats-wise, it was pretty good, as you can see. In the 14th minute, we had a free kick. Marulanda put it in. It was punched clear by the goalkeeper, but not very far, and Martinez put a shot into the bottom right corner through a scrum of bodies. Then, just after half-time, Urego found Labastides. Good ball to Marulanda, who was able just to clip that in the bottom left. It was feeling pretty comfortable, but then in the 85th minute, a ball over the top just got in behind our defence, and Balboa rocketed that into the bottom left corner of our goal. Made it a little bit interesting, but we were able to hold on, and we now have a very good record and are in a good place to progress out of this group. So go to the home screen and the league table. Here are the groups as they stand. You can see we are on 9 points. We are taking on Orzo Mazo in this first game. Chances are it won't be the only game. We've got Atletico Huila after this and then Deportivo Pereira. But if those two teams happen to draw and we picked up a win, we would go straight through. So that would be the only game in today's episode. If one of those two teams win, then of course we'll just keep playing until we progress or we bowl it like we did yesterday. In terms of the other group, Union Magdalena were the team that finished, I think they finished 4th overall. They are currently top of the group. The team that did finish second, Deportes Quindío, having a shocker. They are only on 1 point after 3 games. And the other team of interest for me was Real Santander. They are still in the hunt, along with Espresso Rojo. I imagine it would be one of those 3 teams. I think Deportes Quindío are now a little bit too far behind to be making the final, but that group's still wide open. We will keep an eye on that as we get through today's episode. But before we get into today's game, also, with this being a Hexagon challenge, there have been some intriguing job openings come up. And we have applied for a few jobs. And if you look at the screen, the first one could be controversial because it is in Colombia, and it is a team that we knocked out of the Cup in Atlético Nacional. They are currently second in the Liga Betplay final stage. In terms of the overall league table, they are third, just in front of the Cup winners Deportes Tolima. They are a very good team. If I got offered this job, I'm not actually sure whether I'd take it. I suppose the thing that I'd be weighing up is money. And in terms of their financial stability, these guys are a lot more stable than we are at Cucuta Deportivo. You see their balance is up in the $45 million mark. They've got like a $22 million transfer budget, a lot of wage. In terms of financial pulling power, they have a lot, and we could do some real damage there. In terms of the actual squad, I suspect our squad might be as good, if not better, than theirs based on the Cup, unless they put out a weakened team against us. That's the other thing. It could be muddling my judgment here, but I have applied for the job, and I'll see how we get on there over the off-season. I'd imagine this would happen in. If we did get promoted, it would be an interesting decision, going with a team that I've already built and I know well, or a team that has some good financial pulling power that I can bring in some good players into. So that is one of the teams who we have applied for. I think that's actually the only one at the moment. It is. So in terms of job openings, keep in mind that Atlético Nacional one obviously would be a bit of a stabbing in the back to Cucuta Deportivo, but financially they are a bit stronger than us, it is to be said. But we'd have to rejig the squad, which would not be an issue here. So we will get into today's game. As I said, if it's a draw between Pereira and Huila, we should really be going through as long as we can win this game. So there is a chance for us to wrap this up early on with 2 games to go and rest some legs, which is actually something we're having to do anyway. You can see the Orzo Mazo formation. We're pretty familiar with these guys now. It's a 4-3-3, very similar to what we do. And here is our team for this game. Now you will notice there's been quite a bit of change. That is due to some tired bodies. All these games have been played with 3 to 4 day gaps, and after having most of the players backing up in every game for the last week, we're starting to get some tired legs. I feel that we can rotate and not be too bad off considering our position 5 points clear at the top of the group, and based on standings, this is the weakest opposition we will face. So Meza and Ordonez come in to replace Martinez and Edmonds Green as the centre backs. Jean James comes in, Philippe Loman at right back. We've got Suarez, Lasso and Caicedo in the midfield. Lasso and Caicedo coming off what they would usually be in bench roles. The wingers remain the same, Labastides and Marulanda, and as I said, at the moment we're starting Basozi over Venegas. You look at recent form and there's a little bit more green bumps with Basozi, as well as the fact that he is a little bit more technically familiar. In terms of the bench, what you would expect considering the team that we've put out and the changes that we have made. The only changes, we've actually got Diego Barrios, a Uruguayan 20-year-old midfielder, more of a defensive midfielder than a central midfielder, but he's a bit fresher than the likes of Christian Orrego and Sinistera, so we'll give him a chance. Good quality player, and if we need to use him, he will get his first go in the first team. So this is a home game for us. It's our second home game in the group stage. We are in the red and black with the white shorts, our traditional uniform that you guys would have seen for the most part. Orzo Mazo in the all blue, and they will be kicking off playing left to right, a team that, well, I was going to say a team that we have had the wood over, but we are yet to lose against second division opposition this season. Our only defeat being that last episode bottling of the cup. But since then we have been pretty good. Now Labastidas has a shot early, but it is blocked. He got inside the box, but unable to get anything on target. But we will have a corner from it, and he puts it in. And they do clear it, Orzo Mazo. I'm not too sure how Meza will perform aerially from those corners, but Christian Ordonez, or Carlos Ordonez, I think it's Carlos, I keep getting him and Orrego mixed up first name-wise, but Ordonez was very good for us from corners late last year, and this is a long ball from a free kick that we've played in there, but Maldonado tidies that up nicely. He is a player that we have been able to exploit aerially in the past, notably in that first phase final over 2 leagues. That's a nice ball for Labastidas, played through by Marulanda, I think it was, but the shot is straight at the keeper from a tight angle, and we will get another corner out of that though, coming up to 10 minutes. It's whipped in. I think Meza tried to get his head to it, but someone beat him to it from the Orzo Mazo defence, and it remains 0-0 early on. Throw in after, well, coming up to 14 minutes, it's gone to Marulanda. Out to Cuernu, a player who can do a good long throw. His fitness has been the main reason he's been starting of late. With Acosta, he picked up Acosta went on rest after the cup, which is why he's been getting some starts. It's given Cuernu an opening, and he's well and truly taken it. Been really good for us at left back, but now it's Reina having a run into Cuernu. Plays it back to Sandoval. Interesting highlight, not much coming from it yet, but maybe something will now with Lasso. Back to Caicedo. He receives it back from him. Now we find Marulanda on the left wing. He cuts inside the box, and it's a tackle and a penalty. Not sure about you guys, but I'm finding the frequency of penalties has definitely gone up since the winter update. It will be John Labastidas to take this. Can we go 1-0 up early? Yes, he can put it away, and yes, we can. His 32nd goal of the season. He is well and truly kicked on to be our top goal scorer. He runs up to this, and it looks like he just puts placement over power there. You can see the way he's hit that. It was only ever going in one direction, and we will take a 1-0 lead early here at home. Throw in again after 23 minutes. Cuernu puts it back towards our own goal, and Ordonez finds Lasso, who finds Suarez. Now Labastidas just outside the box finds Jean James. Here's a shot, but it is high and wide, and it will be a goal kick, still 1-0 after 25 minutes. Okay, we are now in the 40th minute. Also, Mazo were clearing the ball when this highlight started, but they've only got it as far as Suarez, and now the midfielders knock it about. Now, he found Marulanda on the edge, and he's put a shot in. It's taken a good save from the Orzo Mazo keeper, and another one there off a Basozi shot. Some good chances created. Cuernu puts a ball in. It's cleared, and now Reina looks to get us on the counter-attack. He's got pace on most of our boys. Hopefully someone keeps their striker in check here. Reina puts a cross in. It is blocked by Suarez, and it is still 1-0 in the 40th minute. I've tried to encourage and praise the boys this half, but they haven't really had much of that. Their heads have dropped since I've done that, which isn't ideal. Now they have a shot from long range, and Sandoval tips that over the top. So they're getting a good little period of play here, Orzo Marzo down our end, and they will have another corner. Geraldo puts it in. It bounces around in the box, and it is cleared by us, and that is the end of the highlight. Basozzi can't get on the end of it. 1-0 still as we approach half-time. And that indeed is half-time. In terms of stats, a pretty good half. The only goal coming from a penalty, but around that, we did have some good chances in about the 38th minute, I think it was. The keeper made a couple of good saves for them, and then they got down their end and had a couple of good chances. So probably most of the action ending up taking place in the latter part of that first half. But we will take the 1-0 lead without any doubt. Tell the boys that they are playing well, but there is still room for improvement. And I think we'll leave it. We won't make any changes yet. Marulanda and Labastidas are both on yellow hearts. 3-day backups throughout all these group stage games, so maybe we'll take one of those players off, but they have both looked quite dangerous so far, so I don't want to do anything too soon. And we have an early throw-in opportunity here, and Cuerno looks like he's going to launch this long, and he does. It is cleared by the goalkeeper, punches it clear, and I think it was Caicedo with the shot, but he's put it over the top in an open net. Good early chance, but it remains 1-0 to us, Cucuta Deportivo. And we are now in the 53rd minute as a throw-in to Orzo Marzo, but deep in their own half. Can they come up with something to tie this up? Hopefully not, but you never know. Reyes plays a cross ball. Labastidas will cut that out. Maybe this is a chance for us. It's tackled, but will fall to Caicedo. His pass blocked, but now Suarez collects it. Out to Cuerno, the left back. Back at full fitness. Marulanda, they have a 1-2. Cuerno puts the ball in. Labastidas heads it just over the bar. It wasn't touched by the goalkeeper. It's a goal kick. And not long after that, we will have a throw-in. Cuerno looks like he's winding up for a long one. He is. Basozzi's there. He flicks it on. It's tipped away by the goalkeeper rather unconvincingly, and the Orzo Marzo defence do get rid of it off the back of that, and now we have yet another throw-in. Nothing coming from it, still 1-0, and we're going to make some changes. I was actually going to take Caicedo off, but you can see Labastidas and Marulanda both in the red, so I think those are the changes we're going to have to make here. Both our wingers coming off for El Camarillo and the Choo Choo Train. And hopefully those two with some fresh legs up top can get us a second goal to wrap this up. You'll notice it is 1-0 to Deportivo Pereira in the other game. They also got their goal for a penalty. If that result stands, we will need to get just one more point to be going through. But if the opposition, Atletico Huila, can equalise, that took a while for me to remember, then we will be going straight through, and this will be the only episode that we need, provided we can hold on to the lead. It's a nice ball out from Murillo to the Choo Choo Train. Puts it back in for Caicedo inside the box. Now Lasso in space. Here's a shot. It's in the bottom right corner. Lovely shot from Andre Felipe Lasso. Nice, low, hard shot. Snuck past the goalkeeper. I thought he had it covered, but he didn't. It was a nice ball from Murillo out to the Choo Choo Train. Caicedo finds Lasso at a lot of time. Weaves a little passage, and he's put that away nicely. I don't know if the goalkeeper could have really done much there. I think I'm being a bit harsh on him. And we are now 2-0 up after 60 minutes, and it's a highlight coming from our end. We play out from the back. Ordonez, can we make it free and really wrap this up? Or will it be Orzo Marzo who get one back and make things interesting? Now Murillo heads down for Basozzi. He puts a shot in. It was almost a chip, but the keeper was on guard for that, and it will remain 2-0. It is still 1-0 in the other game, and it is 65 minutes gone here. Now we are in the 70th minute. We have a throw-in. We've taken it short, and Cuerno will receive it yet again and try and work something back to Caicedo. Suarez doing some good work down that left-hand side today. Now Caicedo, nice switch out to Jean James, who's had a pretty solid game. Now these two jostling over the ball. Now Lasso, there's a bit of good cross play. John James gets the ball back, puts a nice cross in for the Choo Choo Train. And toot toot, we are off 3-0 here to Cucuta Deportivo. Nice ball from our young right back, John James. You can see him and there Suarez having a little jostle on the edge of the box. Murillo with a little pass back out to James. Good cross, and the Choo Choo Train gets that on the tracks and puts it in the top right corner. Things going very well here, 3-0, and now we hold this lead and see what is going to happen in the other game, because things going well, especially considering we have rotated fairly heavily for this game, and now that's a good tackle. It wasn't from Murillo, but that's who the ball fell to, and he gives it to Lasso. It was Suarez with the tackle, and he brings it back out to Murillo. Now down the right will be James. Can we make it 4? Good cross. Tried to find the choo-choo train. They were trying to do that link up yet again, but it was cut out. Now we find Cuernu on the left. He'll look to put a cross in. Murillo heads it, but just past the post. We're piling on the pressure, but it remains 3-0 after 72 minutes. And we have a free kick now after 74. Straight to Suarez from Cuernu. Now Lasso to Murillo. Basozzi. Murillo, oh, he's having a blinder off the bench, Elka Murillo. Basozzi laid it back for him with a 1-2, and that is a lovely strike from outside the box. 2 goals inside 4 minutes. You can see the free kick here. This is where it all started. Cuernu playing it to Suarez. Lasso got it. Found Murillo. Then it was a 1-2 between him and Basozzi. And look at the power on that strike. It is in top bins, top right corner. Pick that out, goalkeeper. 4-0. We are cruising. It is still 1-0 in the other game. So we're probably going to have to play one more today, which I'm sure you guys won't mind. But there is still 15 minutes in our game. So Atletico Huila might be able to do us a favour. Now, I'm looking at this team. We've got a couple of players on red hearts. The player who has been starting for us out of those is Cuernu. And he is having a very good game. We'll keep him in check for the next one. And we'll bring Sebastian Acosta back into things and play out this last 15 minutes and see what happens in the other game as we are 4-0 up. It's a throw-in after coming up to 77 minutes here for Orzo Mazo. Can they get a consolation goal? They try and play the ball into midfield. It's blocked, but it falls kindly back to them. And now it is Pajoy and Aponza playing the ball amongst themselves, and now Reyes gets involved. Looks like the midfield is just holding some possession in the midfield. A good ball there to Renteria. Here's a shot, and that's poor from Sandoval. He's been really good for us the last couple of games. Renteria doesn't pick up the ball, which is interesting. Maybe he knows this is all forlorn, but Mejia, there's a nice gap that Renteria goes through, but Sandoval just has a bit of a Loris Karius sort of ball going through your fingers moment there. Not really too sure what to make of that. Not great from one of our best players in this team, Sandoval, and it is 4-1, but with only 12 minutes to go. Throw in at the 81-minute mark. Acosta whips this in. It has gone straight to Orzo Mazo, and they look to get us on the counter through Rodriguez. Got some tired bodies out there now, albeit our defender's probably a bit fresher than most. Now Rodriguez puts that back in for Renteria. Sandoval this time holds on to the ball, and it remains 4-1 with 8 minutes to go. Still 1-0 in the other game though. And we are now coming up to the end of referee's time. The last I saw from the other game, it was still 1-0 to Deportes Pereira. Basozzi has a shot straight at the arms of Maldonado. Had to move a little bit, I suppose, but it was pretty comfortable. He puts a ball long. Rodriguez flicks it on. But that will be the game. A pretty good 4-1 win. Just that one blip from the goalkeeper on our end late on, but we had a nice little flurry of goals in the second half from Lasso, the choo-choo train, and Murillo after that first half penalty to Labastides. Pretty good performances from most of the boys, but a very good performance. And we are right on the brink of progressing. And we will just make sure that that other result did stay the way that it did. And indeed it has. So what that means is the only team who can catch us now are Deportivo Pereira. We are playing them last in our group. But a draw or a win against Atletico Huila will give us a place in the second phase final and a chance to earn promotion automatically to the top division. We will come back for our next game in a few days' time against Atletico Huila. Okay, so a change of plan here. As you can see, since the fourth game week, Orzo Mazo and Deportivo Pereira's game ended up being a day before ours, and Orzo Mazo actually bet them 3-2 at home, which means we have already qualified. So only the one game needed today. It does give us a good chance to rotate players too, so I will be mucking around with the squad in these next few games, just making sure that the players on yellow cards will be available for that second phase final in tomorrow's episode. So we are through, but the team that we face, I have absolutely no idea. The results on the 4th match day for Group B have absolutely thrown that group wide open. Deportes Quindio now right back in things with 2 days to go, and Real Santander climbing above Expreso Rojo. So I legitimately have no idea who we will be playing in that game. I think what I will do is maybe send out a tweet once this episode comes out, letting you guys know exactly who we have got. So make sure you do follow me on my social media channels, and it will also be useful so you guys get a bit of a heads up if there's not going to be a video on any particular day. But all we required in the end was just that one episode today, thanks to Deportivo Pereira blowing it against Orzo Mazo. So we are through to the second phase final in this Colombian second division, where a win against any of those teams, which one we play, will see us gain automatic promotion without the need for a playoff. If we did happen to lose that final, we would again have to play them in a separate promotion playoff. So it will be a lot easier if we can just get the job done in the next episode. And the Atletico Nacional job, still nothing has happened in that regard. We'll just check out who the leading candidate is for it, seeing as this episode ended up being a little bit shorter than I thought it might be. He's probably a better coach than me, this Daniel Ahmed, so he might not have a shot at it anyway. Alianza Lima, he is the current manager of, after being in charge of the Peru under-18s. Look at his history, see what he's won. Yeah, he's doing a pretty good job in the Peruvian top divisions. See, they've won the Copa Bicentenario. So yeah, that's probably not a bad appointment for them. If we looked at Alianza Lima, just in case this job did come up if they went that way, they're not red-hot favourites, but a team who are supposed to be right up there throughout the season. They've got a couple of players in this Dream 11, the goalkeeper and the right winger. And the striker, he will automatically qualify for the Copa Libertadores. So maybe if that job came up, we could look at that. They missed out in their group in a lot bigger fashion than Atletico Nacional did. So maybe it wouldn't be the greatest job, but it's something to think about. A team that could get us in the Copa Libertadores should Atletico Nacional end up going with their manager. A few interesting job ramifications in terms of hirings that could make me consider my future here at Cucuta Deportivo. But that is something that we will probably look at more so in the off-season. That will do for today's episode. As I said, tomorrow we will be in the second phase final. Not sure who it will be against as of yet, with that Group B being very tight. But we are through. As I said, we can rest some players and things should be good going into that final in terms of having players nice and fresh. So if you have enjoyed today's episode, then please leave a thumbs up on it. Also subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and turn that notification bell on. Any of that is greatly appreciated. Also feel free to leave feedback. I do try and reply to all of it. And until tomorrow's episode, where we will have our first of possibly 3 chances to get promoted to the first division, enjoy the rest of your day. Cheers.